Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In today's video, we are going to learn vocabulary related to strikes. What are types of strikes and how they can be defined? So let's move on towards the types of strikes which we are going to learn in this video. There are various kinds of strikes. Slow down strike, sit down strike, hunger strike, lightning strike, wildcat strike, sympathy strike, green ban, and another term related to strikes is strike breaking. These are the terminologies related to strikes which we are going to learn in this video today. What is a slowdown strike? Slowdown strike is also known as go slow tactic. A slowdown strike is when the workers are still working but very slowly. It is usually done when workers are not allowed to have a full strike. The workers do not stop working but put brakes to the normal way of doing things. For example, rail workers remained on strike Saturday seeking 49% pay raises, but postal workers agreed on a 32% increase to end a slowdown strike, and bank and commercial office workers got a 29% raise. Another kind of strike is called hunger strike. Hunger strike is the act of refusing to eat for a long period for time in order to protest about something. It is usually done to gain sympathy from the public and get noticed by the employer. Workers may decide to forego food for a specified period. Small batches of workers may also go on a relay hunger strike in a sequential order. Such non-violent protests generally bring moral pressure on employers to iron out the differences with labor quickly. The protesters have been on hunger strike for 17 days. What is a sit-down strike? Sit-down strike is also called stay-in strike, tool-down strike, or pen-down strike. It is a strike in which workers cease to perform their duties but do not leave the workplace. A sit-down strike is a labor strike and a form of civil disobedience in which an organized group of workers, usually employed at factories or other centralized locations, take unauthorized or illegal possession of the workplace by sitting down at their stations. For example, the workers are holding a sit down strike. What is a wildcat strike? A wildcat strike is a strike that is not approved by the labor union. Wildcat strikes are not always protected like union approved strikes are. A situation in which workers suddenly refuse to work but they don't agree with a decision made by their employer about pay, working conditions, etc. Wildcat strikes are not always supported by the. So, the main difference of the wildcat strike with the other strikes is that wildcat strikes are not always supported by the unions. Although it is a strike action that is undertaken by the unionized workers, but without union leadership's authorization, support, or approval. This is sometimes termed as unofficial industrial action. Let's have a look on its sentence. The wildcat strike by baggage handlers caused a lot of disruption for air travelers. What is a lightning strike? A lightning strike is a strike by a group of workers that is sudden and without warning. It can be done out of provocation when workers may go on strike without notice or at very short notice. There is an element of surprise in such wildcat strikes. Let's have a look on a sentence. We paralyzed the factory with a lightning strike. What is a sympathy strike? A sympathy strike is a strike that is done to support another group of workers on strike. Sympathy strike is when one union strikes in support for another involved in a dispute, even though the first union has no disagreement with the employer. It is a labor strike that started by workers in one industry and supported by workers in a separate but related industry. It can be termed as solidarity action. The railroad union voted to stop trains all over the country in a sympathy strike. What is green ban? A green ban is a strike that is done to get the company to adopt environmentally friendly practices. A strike by construction workers opposed to a development project within a green belt, especially and imposed by a trade union. A green belt is the agricultural land or underdeveloped area around the urban areas or cities. There are policies to preserve the green belt around cities. Let's have a look on a sentence. The unions have placed a green ban on the project. What is strike breaking? This is another term related to strikes. When a strike is called, a government may try to stop it by calling the police or the military. The threat of force is sometimes enough to get the workers to stop. In some other examples, the owners of a company may also decide to hire new workers. This may cost less than giving into the demands of the workers already working. This is another way of breaking the strike. And these workers are called scabs by strikers and are often yelled at as they pass through the picket line. Picket line is a boundary which is established by workers on strike, especially at the entrance to the place of work, which others are asked not to cross. This was all the very useful vocabulary related to strikes. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.